Welcome into the Farzy Show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzy out of here at the Steven Singer Studio. The Farzy Show is presented by Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. Hope everybody had just a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. You know, minus the fact that the Flyers got blown out, minus the fact that the Phillies bats did do that comeback thing that we really enjoyed, although they were in it. They only lost 2-0. They had some runners on the bases there. They had some ducks on the pond late in the game. Wasn't really a big fan of that strike zone last night, but we'll get into that. We got the play-in tournament. Half of it's done with the Nets taking care of business against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs put up a bit of a fight. Then KD and Kyrie were like, all right, that's enough. You guys are adorable. See ya. And now they go on to face the Celtics in the first round of the playoffs. Not the play-in tournament, the first round of the actual playoffs. So that's Patrick Beverley goes off for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So they advance, taking care of business against the Clippers. Sixers still waiting patiently to see what they do against the Toronto Raptors coming up on Saturday night at 6 o'clock when they start their first round playoff series. But some breaking news. How about this? Yesterday at practice, Doc Rivers said he likes their team. You got some confidence in it? No, still. Oh, okay. I thought that'd give you a little more confidence. Speaking of confidence, we're going to talk to a guy named Max McGee. I talked about him yesterday. He is a Philly area guy, Cherry Hill, born and bred. This guy used to work at Famous Dave's. This guy used to work at Capitol Grill. All right. He jumped into the TV business out of the great school of Temple University, Go Owls. And he jumped into the TV business, and now he's on SportCenter. He is representing the city of Philadelphia, the area of Philadelphia, on SportCenter now, just signing a new deal with them in January. And here he is on Twitter, by the way, if you guys want to give him a follow. Like I said, Philly area guy. Awesome dude. We had a great conversation yesterday. Look forward to playing that for you guys a little bit later today. We cover all things Sixers. We talk about excitement when it comes to the Phillies. We talk about his career, being from the area, all that. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And he's got a little bit of the national perspective now on what people have to say about James Harden and what you would do with the contract extension, what the Sixers team is going to do against the Toronto Raptors, and how they could possibly overcome the Raptors in the first round of the playoffs. So that's what we'll get into on today's show. Let's start it off on a positive note. Let's wrap up. Let's put a bow on what happened last night. 2 nights ago. Alec Bohm was caught on camera, most likely, almost positively, saying something he shouldn't have said. I bleeping hate this place. He owned up to it. He owned it in the post-game press conference. We played the cuts for you yesterday where he said, you know what? Yep, you got me, pretty much. It was in the moment. I was frustrated. I don't hate this place, blah, blah, blah. Then he got teed up for the easy question of, oh, you actually love this place? Yeah, I do. I actually do. So, I got to be honest with you guys. I live in my own world now. I don't listen to a lot of other media outlets. I pretty much watch the games, watch the press conferences, maybe read some stories, and I try not to have anything else other than the facts influence my own opinion. But from what I understood last night while I was scrolling social media as this great moment was happening with Alec Bohm was apparently we were going to be storming the field and berating Alec Bohm for what he said about Philadelphia, how he bleeping hated this place. But he came in with the ultimate saving grace for anyone ever in Philadelphia. Just be honest. Face the music, be accountable. And that's exactly what Alec Bohm was after his unfortunate slip on camera there. So what did the Philadelphia fans do last night? 2 things. 1, credit to NBC Sports Philadelphia for actually realizing this moment and how big it was and going to the moment. Alec Bohm did not start in this game. Alec Bohm only got an at-bat as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning, I believe it was. So, 8th inning. So Alec Bohm steps to the plate, trying to make something happen for himself as a pinch hitter. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. He grounded out to second base. But here's the way it went down last night. Check this out.
Number 28, Alec Bohm. We never gonna die. I just want you to
savages, just barbarian Philadelphia Phillies fans just destroying Alec Bohm. Apparently, that was the way that a lot of the national media, some local media, it went the opposite way. It goes to show you how, yes, we can be a funny fan base. You could be not that great a player, but you could work your ass off, and we'll love you forever. You know, you could say something to the effect of, I hate this bleeping place, and then own it after the game, not shy away from it, and then you walk up to the plate and get a standing ovation. One of my favorite lines, and I think it's an underrated line from the movie Gladiator. It's not, are you not entertained? It's the mob is fickle, brother. The mob is fickle. And yes, sometimes we can be fickle as a fan base, and probably better to describe it is misunderstood. We're very misunderstood. Somebody commented on one of the posts we had yesterday saying, oh, I love how you're justifying the way Philadelphia fans act. Justifying? I'm explaining the way it is and the way, quite frankly, it should be. Justifying it makes it seem like there was something evil that you needed to make sense out of. No. I'm not justifying anything. I'm explaining the way we are and the way I think all fan bases should be across these great United States. And last night proved it. And I feel like a lot of people were watching Philadelphia last night going, watch how they deal with this. And they already had their shows planned for today. Oh, look how terrible Philadelphia is. Look what they did to this poor kid. Yeah, no, they standing ovation. So shut your damn mouth. Alec Bohm, like I said, ended up going and grounding out to second base in his at-bat, but the moment was there. Joe Girardi on what it's like to play in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, as I said, is a great place to play. You know, they want effort. They expect you to be honest and take responsibility. And he did all those things, and, you know, he got a great ovation. So I applaud the fans because it probably meant a lot to that kid, because I'm sure last night was a tough night for him. But the fans responded great to him, and it probably means a lot to him.
Last thing on this, I promise you, and I agree with everything Joe Girardi just said. Imagine being the new guy, Nick Castellanos, and imagine the things you have heard. That's why I always like asking new athletes or even people that are drafted and just coming to Philadelphia. Hey, what did you know about Philadelphia before you came here? Oh, the fans, man. Fans are crazy. You got to watch those fans. Well, Nick Castellanos, new to town. This is what he thought about the Alec Bohm situation.
Oh, fantastic. You know, like everything that, I've been led to believe about Philadelphia, man, like that was the exact opposite. That was incredible. So, I mean, hats off to the city of Philadelphia for having their players back like that. It's incredible.
Well, I don't even want to know what horrible things he's heard about coming to Philly, but hey, welcome to the party, pal. So that puts the ball in the Alec Bohm situation. I'm glad that we have handled that the way we did. I'm glad Bohm handled it the way he did. One last thing. Aside from somebody reaching out to me and saying that I was justifying how Philadelphia fans are, it's not quite so much that. As much as it's this. When you see a guy like Alec Bohm come along, and he owns the situation, and myself and I know other people were talking about, and people were hitting me up on social media saying that he owned it, good for him, all that, we move on, fine. Somebody said to me yesterday, you think this is owning it? Like, what other option did he have? Why is he getting so much credit for owning a situation that he was caught on camera? For the very small amount of people that think that way, the small numbers there. There's a number of things. And I said, what if he went the other way? What if he got in front of the camera yesterday after the comments? What if he got the camera in the clubhouse? And what if he said, yeah, I hate this place. Who the hell boos you when you're struggling like that? Like, yeah, I know I got to get it going, but come on. Like, if he went that way, oh, my goodness, epic fireworks. Then forget about any standing ovation ever. It's like trade Bohm immediately or just send him down to the minors so he never has to take it at Citizens Bank Park again. Don't let him play here again. The other thing he could have done is not stand at his locker. That's the other route he could have taken. He could have not addressed the media at all. One of the things I always respected after the 1993 World Series is that Mitch Williams was there at his locker answering questions. He didn't run away. He didn't dodge anything. He stood right there and he answered every question. I look at a guy like Alec Bohm, not as egregious a mistake in terms of the game, obviously. He didn't lose a World Series. The team didn't just lose a World Series. But he said something that most people would have thought, oh, boy, here we go. Great conflagration. Here comes Philadelphia. But he owned it. He stood in his locker, didn't dodge the question, answered it head on. Give him a lot of credit for doing that. That's owning it. You know, he could have been like Ben Simmons. Could have been like Carson Wentz. Yeah, I don't know where these reports are coming from, that I'm a jerk. I think I'm a great guy. Like, no, I can see why people would think I'm a jerk. I can see. No, it didn't happen that way, unfortunately. But in this case with Alec Bohm, that's exactly how it happened. Okay, now that's the last time I'll talk about it, I swear. Let's move on to this epic lineup. So far this season, we've seen them get a late inning home run from Gene Segura to avoid being shut out. Last night, they have a 5-run eighth. 2 nights ago, they have a 5-run eighth inning to avoid being shut out, which is good. 5 runs is far from being shut out. And then last night, they lose 2-0. They get shut out by the Mets. And then it doesn't get any easier as Max Scherzer takes to the hill today for a 1 o'clock start time against the Mets. Or excuse me, yeah, he takes on the Phillies. That's great. So it's not going to get any easier for this Phillies lineup. And last night, Kyle Schwarber, 0 for 4. Harper was 1 for 4. Nick Castellanos, 2 for 4. That's nice. Hoskins took the collar. 3 strikeouts. The last strikeout Rhys Hoskins had should not have been a strikeout. I want to say it was the 7th inning last night, and Rhys Hoskins steps to the plate. There's a ball low and right over the middle of the plate, but low. And he gets called out on strikes. And, like, you have a box right there on TV, and you go, that's not a strike. Home plate umpire rings up Rhys Hoskins. They go to the replay of the digital pitch, and there it is. It's still not a strike. The only person on the planet that thinks it's a strike is the umpire. Everybody else knows it's not a strike. But God forbid we have robot umpires, folks. So Rhys Hoskins gets sat down on strikes, caught looking at a pitch that was a ball. Not even like on the line. Just, it was a ball. It was the wrong call. And in a day and age now where we're using PitchCom, you know, those little communicators they have now on the catcher's wrist or his shin pad, the Mets actually shorted out last night. It wasn't working. You saw Francisco Lindor give his in. In a day where we're calling pitches by, like, sending voicemail from the catcher to the pitcher, I think it's okay to use robots as umpires. And I got a whole other list of things I want to see baseball do to make the game more efficiently run. But anyway. So throughout the game last night, I'm yelling at the umpire, as we always do, you know, when the calls don't go our way. But ultimately, I'm also yelling at a guy like Rhys Hoskins, who didn't come through last night. Bryce Harper, love him to pieces, man. Reigning DH, or reigning National League MVP, the DH last night. He comes out and has 4 hacks, where he was, I don't know, looking to just murder a baseball the same way he did the night before, where he went up in a clutch situation and wasn't able to come through. I don't know what he was looking for, but the first pitch was down an inside slider that he swung over top of, and I'm thinking, he didn't know that I knew that pitch was, he didn't know that pitch was coming. But nonetheless, that's what ended up happening. But last night, you see another example of this lineup not always going to be let's wait till the very latter stages of the game to get something going. There's going to be moments throughout the season where we're looking at them struggling. And I've referenced this before. The Phillies in 2009, I want to say it was, with Jason Worth still in the lineup, went to New York against the Mets and get shut out in 3 straight games. So even that lineup, they can get shut out like that. This Phillies lineup's going to go through struggles as well. Joe Girardi says he's not worried about it, despite the fact he couldn't use the weather as an excuse because yesterday was absolutely beautiful. But when it comes to some of your top guys that you brought in, I heard this stat recently, 12 for 72 isn't exactly the way you want to start things off when you talk about Harper, Schwarber, it's not Real Muto. Real Muto has been the saving grace. Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, Hoskins. That's not the way you want to start things off in a season. And like I said, today you got Max Scherzer taking to the hill against the Phils. So that's not going to get any easier for them. One great thing about last night was that it looked like Zach Wheeler, all he really needed for spring training was a 27-pitch first inning. And after that, man, he was cruising. It was great to see Zach Wheeler back on the hill last night. 4 2/3, struck out 3, 2 hits, 1 earned run. It was a home run. But those 4 2/3, for the most part, looked pretty good. 65 pitches through. For those scoring at home, sub-2 ERA after 1 start. So that was at least good to see. Now, the bats need to come around a little bit more consistently. I think we'll have the old Zach Wheeler back from last year. Let's at least cross our fingers for that. Aaron Nola takes the hill for the Phillies today against Scherzer, so we'll see how that goes. By the way, McGill last night for the Mets, pretty good. Pretty good. A lot of off-balance swings from Phillies hitters. Even JT Realmuto, the ground ball with eyes that he had in the 8th inning, that was the second time in that at-bat that he had to lunge for a pitch. And he got it right off the end of his bat. So throughout the night, really everybody from the Mets bullpen was keeping Phillies hitters off a balance. So that was pretty impressive to see from them. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap, as they say, to the other team. Phillies lose last night 2-3. 105 start time today against the New York Metropolitans. Let's swing it over to talk some basketball for a second here. As I continue to think about this series with the Raptors, I want to be able to look at this series and simply say the Sixers have the best player in JOEL EMBIID. And that's the most obvious thing you could say about this series. But a lot of times in basketball, it's all about having the best player on the floor, and that's how you win games. But I'm looking at it like, does JOEL EMBIID, after this season, after the struggles towards the end of the season, having a coach that I don't think he really wants to play for anymore, having a teammate like James Harden, who doesn't really seem like he's all there physically anymore. And as we're about to hear from Max McGee, it seems like a lot of people just think James Harden is cooked. Like, I don't think James Harden's coming back next year any better than what we've seen. So that's an issue. But if I look at JOEL EMBIID, and I also look at the fact that they're not going to have Matisse for the games in Canada, I just don't think it's going to be enough. It should be. I want it to be, because I believe JOEL EMBIID should be MVP. I believe JOEL EMBIID is one of the best players in the game, obviously. But they're facing a Raptors team that isn't just Pascal Siakam. You know, they're a complete team. They play team basketball, and they're very much well coached with Nick Nurse. And in the Nick Nurse versus Doc Rivers chess match, I think Nick Nurse has the upper hand. You look at the regular season, the fact that the Raptors are 3-1 against the Sixers in their 4 games this year, that doesn't really give you a lot of confidence. And, of course, again, Thibault not being able to play in Canada, that's just another thing that's a monkey wrench in this situation. I want to feel confident going into this. If JOEL EMBIID and James Harden really are a tandem that can play together for the next 3 years in Philadelphia and show that they still have a lot left in the tank together, more left in the tank for Harden is an issue than obviously Embiid. But if those two guys can play well in this series and win this series, then you'll start considering maybe an extension for James Harden, because then it will really be about, he was saving it for the playoffs. I don't believe that. But if those two players can play as well as we have seen them play together, if they do that, they will win this series. I don't have confidence that they will. But right now, looking at it from afar, they don't play until Saturday. I'm still thinking of it as this team needs to prove that those two can continue to play together at a very high level. Tyrese Maxey needs to continue to score points the way we have seen him score points throughout the season. Tobias Harris needs at least one game. He needs at least one game like what they had against the Hawks. Game 2 last year, where Tobias Harris absolutely went off and Ben Simmons didn't have any points. He had 15 rebounds and 15 assists. Everything else was, he didn't make a shot, I think it was the actual tally. But Tobias Harris went off in that game. I need one game like that from Tobias Harris in this series, preferably a game in Canada. We're going to need all the scoring you can get to make up for the perimeter defense that you're not going to have with Thibault not being in the lineup. So the closer we get to this series, the more I just focus on what I think is the most obvious thing. It's the tandem of JOEL EMBIID and James Harden. What are you going to get out of those two? I feel like you're going to get 30 and 10 from JOEL EMBIID. What are you going to get from James Harden? Are you going to get the de facto Rajon Rondo, as I've been saying, with all the assists and hardly any points, what are you going to be getting from him as this series goes on? That's what it comes down to. Coming up, we'll talk to Max McGee in just a second. But right now, let me tell you about my friends Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. Mike Seibert is a retirement income certified professional at Destination Retirement LLC, a partner of 1847 Financial, and an advisor for Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies fans only. And maybe next year, the Flyers, even though the Flyers outscored the Phillies yesterday, which is something I never thought I'd say. That happened. But when it comes to long-term savings, why are you giving up current enjoyment of your income? The answer is to have income streams in retirement. It only makes sense then to understand how retirement income streams work so that you can direct savings in ways that give you the highest income when you retire. Think of it like climbing a mountain. The objective isn't just to get to the top of the mountain and then live there forever. No. The objective is to climb the mountain, take a selfie, then you go back down the mountain. Going up the mountain is your accumulation years of your financial life. Going down the mountain is your distribution years of your financial life. These are the two phases of our financial life. This month, let's talk about college planning. We all know that college is expensive. Have you ever thought about how it will affect your retirement? Let Mike show you an effective and an efficient way to help pay for your kids' college and still retire on your own terms. Your first step is to avoid starting your growth cycle over by depleting accounts like 529s, for instance, for big expenses like college. You don't want to lose your position on your growth cycle and you have to start over. You can't get that time back. Instead, set yourself up with the ability to use the vehicles that you can make money and take money out of without starting your growth cycle over again. Find out how your annual retirement savings can help your college savings, and then your annual college savings can help your retirement savings. Michael set up your own portal and retirement analyzer, then use the software to help you navigate through the different phases of your financial life. For questions or to set up a meeting with Mike, email him at gobirds@1847financial.com. That's gobirds@1847financial.com, or call his office at 484-275-6035. That's 484-275-6035. Or you can simply visit his website at destinationretirement.com. And as always, go Birds and play the song. How about Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers? The amazing gold dip rose from Steven Singer, just starting at $59. Get it in time for Mother's Day. Just $59. Brand new creamsicle 24 karat gold dip rose is guaranteed to last a lifetime. So when it comes to Mother's Day, take care of mom with a beautiful 24 karat gold dipped rose from Steven Singer Jewelers. The other corner of 8th and Walnut, right on Jewelers Row, or at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line and get to know one of the newest SportsCenter one of the newest SportsCenter anchors, Max McGee, Cherry Hill native, on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Joining us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line, newly minted as of this past January, Temple graduate Max McGee joins the show, newly minted SportsCenter anchor. What's going on, Max?
Mark, I appreciate you having me on, man. I've been watching and listening to you for years now. You do a great job.
You spoil me. Take me to the journey, my friend, because I caught you a couple of weeks ago on SportsCenter for the first time. I heard this guy just ranting and raving about the Phillies and getting excited for their season. And I'm like, who's this guy? Your partner says, this guy is a Philly guy. And I'm like, now I got to Google him. And there you are. Not only are you a Philly guy, you're a Philly area guy, originally from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and you went to Temple University. Take me through the journey, man. How'd you get to that SportsCenter anchor desk?
Well, it wasn't easy, man. I tell people all the time it was a grind to get here. I didn't expect to be in Bristol, Connecticut in a 5.5-year journey once I first picked up a microphone out of Temple. But I'm blessed. I got an opportunity to go to Temple basically because my mom said, Max, you should apply. And I thought Temple, that's where all the brainiacs go. I'm not getting into Temple. I thought I was going somewhere a lot smaller. And then they accepted me within a week. And I had never put in my deposit so quickly before. I jumped on the opportunity. And then about 6 months in, I found Al Sports Update, the student-run broadcast. And the rest is history, man. And now it's so cool to look back at Temple and realize they're actually running a little dynasty over there. They have people in everywhere across the country. The saying owls are everywhere is true. We're the most proud bunch in the country, and I'm really proud to be from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and Temple.
That Nagandi character, he didn't like go hazing you, did he? To welcome you to the campus up there at Bristol?
He did not, but he has a reputation on campus of being fully into Temple. That people ask me, "Oh, so are you going to be like Kevin now? Are you going to be like Kevin? Where are you from? Are you going to be like him, all Sixered up and Phillied up?" I said, "I'm not that into it. I'm enthusiastic, but we love Kevin Nagandi, and he's been great here."
Yeah, he was actually the first guest we had on this very show when we launched a little over a year ago. So, mad respect to Kevin Nagandi. Now, your the rest of your journey after Temple University is amazing. First off, I don't know how you lost or how you left the barbecue in South Carolina, but you did. I don't know how you left the crab cakes in Maryland, but you did. You had stops in those states as well in your career. No?
Yeah. So I started in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and I didn't know where Lake Charles was on the map. They offered me the job, and I had to go grab my iPhone and pinch the map to figure out where it was, the 5th largest city in the state. So that my first introduction into television was crawfish. So that was cool. I was there for about 11 months, then moved to South Carolina. Mark, I'm not going to lie. It was hard leaving Myrtle Beach.
I'm sure.
It's cheap to live. The everybody looks good. It's a tourist destination. The weather's warm. So I had a really good time there. But that was where I feel like I worked my hardest to really get to Baltimore, Maryland. And Maryland was almost like a second home to me. I grew up going there with family and friends, and to be at a place where they had NFL football and Major League Baseball was huge to me. I lived downtown, and it was just a 5-minute walk to the stadiums. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. And the food, like you said, Jimmy's Famous Seafood and the crabs and the crab cakes, you can't beat that stuff, man.
Oh, you just made me so happy. You're a Jimmy's guy?
I am a Jimmy's guy.
Oh, my mom's whole family's from Dundalk, man. I grew up on Jimmy's.
Way.
Yeah, man.
Halliburton Ave, man. Yeah. Jimmy.
You mean Halliburton Avenue? You mean up there, Halliburton? Yeah. Oh, that's great. My God.
I was there every week spending my paycheck over there at Jimmy's. I love that place.
Oh, it's fantastic. I highly recommend it to everybody. People are like, "Oh, it's a tourist trap." I'm like, it's Dundalk. Dundalk does not have a tourist trap.
People just got to go there to see it for themselves. But Jimmy's is its own little bubble. I love that. 1,000%.
So now this was great because I saw this in doing some research for the interview here. Obviously, you put this out. You have it pinned to your Twitter. People should follow you, obviously, at Max McGee TV. These are friends and family members, and then that's you on the right. You used to be a server at Dave's, famous Dave's in Capitol Grill.
Famous Dave's for 7 years, July 4th, 2008 to 2015, and then Capitol Grill as a server assistant was just a glorified way of saying busboy. You'd clean up tables, and that's my mom, my dad, and my little sister in the picture.
Oh.
And I felt like it was important to highlight them because they're the ones that were with me through everything, man. When I was making $14 an hour in Lake Charles, Louisiana, when I was making $21,000 or $19,000 a year for Famous Dave's and Capitol Grill, they were with me from the start. A lot of people, they'll just see, oh, Max McGee, he's on national TV, on SportCenter. He looks good in the suit and all that with the bright lights and all that. These people were with me, obviously, from the start because they're my parents and my sister, from the gutter to where I am now. And they always keep me humble. They always try to keep me down when I'm getting too up, and they keep me up when I'm going too down. And I love those people. Those people are obviously my family. They're my heroes at the same time.
That is amazing. Good for you, man. Couldn't be happier for you. Let's talk about what's going on in Philadelphia right now as far as these sports teams go. You and I both still get very excited about what's going on in Philadelphia. First off, let's start off with the 76ers. They're about to take on the Toronto Raptors starting Saturday in the first round of the playoffs. Just your impressions. It doesn't look like Joel Embiid is going to win the MVP award this year. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to go to either Giannis or Joker. What is your take on Embiid and his MVP status?
Look, man, no disrespect to Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Amazing players. I have a tremendous respect for Jokic for what he's done with the Denver Nuggets, especially without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. That man is a monster. He may not look pretty the way he scores, but he scores. Giannis, we all know what he can do. I'm still upset that he sat at mid-floor at the Wells Fargo Center, but he's a great player. Joel Embiid's the most valuable player. And I didn't really appreciate what Julius Erving had to say last week about it, but I think he is the most valuable player. This man had to carry his squad when there is no other option. Tobias Harris, he's not an MVP player. Tyrese Maxey's just a pup. If it weren't for Joel Embiid, this team would be tanking. Simple as that. I think he's the best player in the world right now. I know it goes back and forth between Kevin Durant and LeBron and Giannis and all that. I think Joel, when he is at his best, no one is stopping him.
Mm-hmm. Are you confident he can help carry the Sixers to a first-round victory over the Toronto Raptors, minus Matisse Thybulle playing in games in Canada?
I think he can do it. I don't think how can I be honest?
You're from this area. It's the only gear you have is to be honest.
Well, let me just stop tripping. I think he can do it, but I question the supporting cast around him. I don't think it's the Philadelphia 76ers year this year. I think if they make some adjustments with their roster, they can come back next year and win it all. I think Phoenix is going to be in the way, but that's the story for another conversation. I think they can get by the Toronto Raptors, but it's going to be tough, man, without Thybulle. And I'm sure you'll ask me a question about what my thoughts on Thybulle are, but I think just when you have the best player in the world on your team, you always have a chance.
Mm-hmm. In all honesty, here's where I'm at right now, 2+ years into the pandemic world and post-pandemic and then re-enter pandemic and all the stuff we've been dealing with. Like, what are we going to do at this point? People are set in their ways with what they believe. Thybulle's whole deal is confusing to me because he got the first shot and then didn't get the second. So, look, bottom line to me is he's not available in Canada. I don't know what else to make of it.
Look, it's something that we have to accept. We're not going to always respect his decisions or other people's decisions not to get vaccinated, but we can't force a needle into his arm. Mm-hmm. I don't know anyone who has gotten one shot. It's either people who don't get the shot or they're fully vaccinated. There is no in between. So he's an animal of his own kind right now. But he has to realize that when you are a professional athlete, especially in the city of Philadelphia, you don't play for just yourself. You are playing for service for the fans who are paying their hard-earned money to see you perform at a high level. And it's a detriment to not only himself for his health, but it is a detriment to the team. I hope he doesn't get sick again from COVID. I know he believes in holistic medicine and all that, but so that's number one. That's more important. That is, one, his health. Two, the team. I don't know how we haven't heard any speculation from the locker room pressuring him to get the second shot. They need him to win an NBA title. I know he's not scoring. He's not a threat at all offensively, but obviously he's their best wing defender, and they cannot win a championship without him. If I'm Joel Embiid in the offseason, I'm going up to Daryl Morey and saying, get him out. I can't have this on my team. I want to win a championship. I have a 2 to 3 year window, especially with James Harden, whose hamstring issues. I don't know what's going on with him. Is he done? Is his hamstring bothering him? What's going on? I got a 2 to 3 year window to win a championship right now, especially with LeBron possibly on his way out for his career. Who knows how much time he has to win. And if Matisse Thybulle is not on board with that, you got to go.
When it comes to Harden, what are you hearing on the national stage about whether or not he is done or whether or not it's just a hamstring injury that keeps on lingering?
People are saying he's done. In every article, every analyst that I speak to off camera from multiple networks, people are saying he's done, and it's possibly because he didn't come into the best shape in the beginning of the season. This isn't just when he came to Philly. This started before the season. Apparently, Kevin Durant was astonished about his level of fitness going into the training camp for the Brooklyn Nets. That's according to a Bleacher Report article. And honestly, I expected more from James Harden. I hope he has another gear for the playoffs, but these are professional athletes, man. I don't think that they can just turn it on. It's very rare that you see a freak athlete just turn it on, especially when you're playing 35 to 40 minutes a night like he was in Philly. You'd think that we would see more glimpses of brilliance, and we just haven't seen it consistently. I've seen this man bent over, hands on his knees more often than not, and I'm really concerned. Next year, I think the Philadelphia 76ers, it could be their year. This year right now, with everything surrounding Doc and the bench and, Joel really only being the main consistent threat, I don't know if we can actually make a run in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So I'm going to go ahead and assume you wouldn't give James Harden that max deal in a year or two.
See, here's the thing. We just have no choice right now. All right, so if let's say if we let him go, what are we going to replace him with?
Right.
We have no assets to trade.
Bradley Beal? Ah!
How are we going to get him?
He wants to come here. He just wants to come here. They'll sign him. Everyone will be happy.
If he wants to come here, then fine. Beautiful. Let's go get him. I like Tobias Harris, but you got to give up something to get Bradley Beal. Right. And if Tobias Harris has to go, then see it.
I'm with you.
If Matisse Thybulle has to go in that deal, send him off to DC, and let's get a new big three. But James Harden, I pray that he shows glimpses of brilliance in the first round of the playoffs so we can bring him back. Because if we cannot, if Daryl Morey says, thanks, but no thanks, I'm not paying you $45-50 million a year, then we got to go.
I got you. Last thing on the Sixers real quick, and then something on the Phillies. Doc Rivers done in Philly. He's in his final days here. How long do the playoffs go?
If he does not make it out of the first round, I think he's gone. And I think you'll see his name being thrown into the hat for the Los Angeles Lakers job. I've been on the record on Twitter saying if Doc Rivers does not make it out of the first round, the 76ers should strongly consider going after Dawn Staley from the University of South Carolina.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Saw that you tweeted that. It's great. When it comes to baseball, now, at the time we tape this, the Phillies are about to play game 2 of their set with the Mets. They're just coming off that 5-run 8th inning to win just last night, again, at the time that we tape this. How good is it, Max McGee, to look at the Philadelphia Phillies lineup and say, this team's never out of it because this lineup can rake?
I mean, once you signed Nick Castellanos, that's when I knew that they were serious about competing. This lineup is extremely dangerous. Once you have Kyle Schwarber getting on base, I know Bryce is going through a mini slump right now, but I know he's going to hit eventually. We saw JT hit his first home run. The Phillies always have a shot with their lineup, and especially if Nola pitches well and we have Wheeler on the mound tonight, I think the Phillies can win the division if they stay healthy and do what they're supposed to do. Simple as that.
Absolutely. And also, Alec Bohm, you forgive him?
I do forgive him because of his honesty. We had a guy in Philly, I'm not even going to say his name. He used to wear number 25. If he was honest with the fans, we would have forgiven him. After all that crap he did, we would have forgiven him. I respect Alec Bohm for this. He's going to make probably a decent dime out of this because of the T-shirts. If I'm his agent, I'm getting some percentages from
get a little piece of that. Absolutely. Yeah. That's great. Max, real quick, before I go any further with Fast Five here, I know you did a lot of field work. You've been in the different markets that we covered earlier. What's the weirdest thing that ever happened to you while you were reporting from the field on any sporting event or really any topic in general?
The weirdest thing that ever happened to me, a girl came up to me thinking that I was her ex-boyfriend at a stadium. And so she confronted me saying, why haven't you called me back or anything like that? And I said, I'm literally not him. And I was about to go on live TV, so I had to put that away and then focus on the live shot for WJZ in Baltimore. But yeah, I've been through a lot of bizarre events. That tops it.
That is pretty wild. Sorry, lady, it's just some other devastatingly handsome guy. Sorry. Exactly. I'm surprised you didn't go with this moment from Baltimore.
Who would think the leading rusher is over? This is the man, John. Oh no. My mom's not gonna like that.
That would have been a little weirder.
You know what, man? I try to just block that out of my mind because it's happened multiple times.
Yeah.
From that guy at the playoff game for the Ravens, and then it happened at the Preakness in my first year in 2019. Some guy came up and randomly kissed me. So I guess I'm just this extremely handsome guy. I just didn't know of my good looks and awareness, but that's up there on the list too.
For those listening on the podcast, just some Ravens fan went up and kissed the man. That's all that happened. Were you on the infield of the Preakness, I assume?
I was.
God bless you.
And that's my fault. I should have known better, but that was my first year, and things like that happen.
That's a dangerous area. I'm just going to say that for anyone with no experience. Very dangerous area. Max McGee, SportCenter, Temple grad, Cherry Hill native. Are you willing to play Fast Five with the Farzy Show?
Let's do it.
All right, let me just bring in the band. Wake up, guys. Here we go. Let's get it going here. Max McGee, thank you. All right, here we go. Max McGee, best job before your SportCenter job. Best job.
WJZ by far. It was a great 3 years. It was home away from home, an hour, 30 minutes away from Philadelphia. The food was great. The people were awesome. Pro sports. And Maryland is sneaky fun in the summer.
Very much so. Absolutely. I thought for sure you were going to say Famous Dave's. I thought for sure you were going to say Famous Dave's. Go-to fast food place.
Oh, man. Chick-fil-A. Whenever I'm down on a random rainy day on a Tuesday, it's Chick-fil-A, the number 3 12-count meal. And when it's Sunday, I get depressed.
The only person with a better Chick-fil-A order than you, I think, is Zach McPherson. No, I think he got exactly what you got. Yeah, I think you guys matched. Zach McPherson, soon to be sophomore cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Wow. First date deal breaker. Max McGee, you're on a date. This happens, and you're like, I'm out. What is it?
You're either talking too much about your ex-boyfriend or you chew with your mouth open. I can't handle it.
Oh my, that goes right there with horrible table manners and the talking about the ex. Oh my goodness, red flags on the play. Red flags all over the place. Favorite city to travel to? Obviously can't be Baltimore.
LA.
Wow, really? Okay.
Have you felt the weather out there in Southern California, man? It is magical. It's somewhat tropical. You have Malibu. You have Santa Monica. There's so many different neighborhoods. And have you seen the people out there? Everyone just looks like they're in a great mood. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's the green shakes or anything, but LA is special.
Yeah, it's the kale banana shake, whatever the hell it is. I don't know. And then lastly, you seem like a swell guy, and obviously you went to school on North Broad, so you're a great guy. But what makes you, Max McGee, beep your horn in traffic?
People texting while they're driving. Anytime that we are at a red light and I got to wait any more than 2.5 seconds, you better step on it. Get your face out of your phone and go. I cannot handle texting and driving. I'm not going to lie. I've done it before, and I'm definitely on my way out of doing it. Whenever I'm driving, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. But especially if we're in traffic, get your phone out of your face.
There you go. Max McGee, SportCenter. Guys, we can cut it. Thank you. Thanks for waking up this morning. Max McGee, great catching up with you. Great talking. Great meeting you, my friend. Best of luck to you. Continued success. And congratulations on achieving the dream, the SportCenter desk, my friend. Thank you so much.
Hey, man, appreciate it, and thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. I'm sure we'll talk to you down the line, my friend. Continued success, as I said, and thanks for joining us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You as well. Well, that was fun. I really enjoyed talking to that guy. Really enjoyed talking to Max. I know Max at Temple. I'm going to assume that I'm substantially older than that young gentleman, but really enjoyed that conversation. Cool guy to talk to before and after I hit the record button. Just a lot of fun. Let's cover the news portion of that. James Harden's cooked. Like there's no one looking at James Harden in the national media and saying, oh, yeah, give this guy that deal. This guy, it's just a hamstring that he needs to rest. He'll come back better than ever next year. Yeah, no one's saying that. They're saying he's done. And that ain't good. Because in the world of James Harden is done, that's the world of, all right, maybe you do go out there and you get Bradley Beal, who apparently JOEL Embiid was pushing for, according to some reports, before James Harden even was going to be a Philadelphia 76er. I was back when 2 years ago, before the season, when the rumor was out there about the Sixers potentially getting James Harden from the Houston Rockets before he went to the Nets, and the story was out there about trading Ben Simmons for him, I had reservations about doing it then. I would have done it. Oh, don't trade Ben Simmons. I'm like, no, I think I'll trade Ben Simmons. And then a year later, James Harden's a year away from his prime, further away from his prime. And now he was dealing with the hamstring injury where he missed, the first week of him being a Sixer officially, week and a half because of the All-Star break. And then he came out and you saw how great he was. My thought is that you will see how good James Harden is and how much that hamstring really is bothering him and how much he might have needed a break. You'll know on Saturday because he'll have had a week off essentially to rest the hamstring, to rest his body overall. And if he comes out and it's another Joel Embiid with 35 points and James Harden with 25 points, and James Harden is, 3 for 8 from beyond the arc, and he's 12 of 20 shooting, whatever, then you're going to have a guy that looks like someone that will be that offensive powerhouse juggernaut teamed up with Joel Embiid. You will have that guy back that you thought you traded for originally, and that'll make you feel a lot better about this series. It'll make you feel a lot better about the future of James Harden with the 76ers. But if he is in fact done, as Max McGee and his friends on the national stage are telling us, oh boy, burn it to the ground. Burn it to the ground. And then the other part of this is just, it's funny that I find to be hilarious. When you look at the idea of knowing the order every time you go to your favorite fast food place, I mean, that's kind of how I live my life. And it's not just fast food. Like if I'm going to McDonald's, boom, I'm doing the quarter pounder, not the double quarter pounder because I'm a health nut. The quarter pounder, and you know what? Maybe I'll treat myself a little bit of bacon. That's the only question, but I'm going quarter pounder, baby. You know why? Because if I get the double cheeseburgers, then I'm having twice the amount of bread, and like I said, I'm a health nut, so I don't do that. When I go to Wendy's, I'm having the son of the Baconator, not the Baconator. Again, why? Health nut. If I go to Chick-fil-A, all bets are off. It's chicken, so that's basically I watch that guy Meals by Cugene on Instagram. I find him hilarious. What does he say? It basically a salad. Like that's what you're having. You're basically having a salad if you go to Chick-fil-A, as far as I'm concerned. And speaking of me, like trying to be healthy or stuff, I was on a Peloton yesterday, or as my father-in-law calls it, the Peloton. That's what he literally refers to it. Oh, you rode the Peloton, and I'm like, the what? Oh, the Peloton, top of the day for you. That's how I think of it whenever he says Peloton. But Peloton, I was on the Peloton. My wife really wanted one. We got a Peloton, and she loves it. She's been riding it for a while. And she's like, hey, let's get in shape before we go to Europe. You should, let's go ride for ride. Actually, no, she said she's going to get on it. And I was like, no, baby, look great. Don't do it. And then I was like, all right, I'll tell you what. I need to get back in shape too because I played that charity basketball game and I feel like a fat bastard. So I'll go ride for ride. I got on the Peloton yesterday. I felt okay. Did like a 13-minute ride, simply because I got on the thing late and we were taking care of the kids and stuff. And it comes with shoes. I didn't know the Peloton came with shoes. And it's like the spinning classes that people go to, and your feet clip into the thing, which is just insane to me, into the pedals. I couldn't figure out how to get. First off, the shoes, they hurt like hell for me. And then the shoes, like I couldn't figure out how to get them off the pedals. So in actuality, I probably rode for 10 minutes and then spent 3 minutes trying to get the shoes off the pedals on the Peloton. And I got one off, and my left shoe is still on the Peloton right now. As I've told you before, I repeated kindergarten. I'm not a smart man. But anyway, thanks, McGee. Thanks to Max McGee for joining the show. Let me tell you about the great people at Rothman Orthopedics. In a day or two when I'm feeling pain from the Peloton, oh, top of the day to you, the Peloton. When you have an orthopedic issue, you're going to go see my friends at Rothman Orthopedics. Sometimes you feel like your shoulder's bothering you, your ankle hurts, whatever it might be. The Rothman approach to orthopedics is here to get you back to being you. And Rothman's great with that approach because they're orthopedic doctors. They specialize in one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Visit them in one of their 30-plus locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, including 4 orthopedic-only urgent cares. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. How about the great people at WinView, the only game where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all? Who is the biggest sports fan? You have those friends and family members who think they know everything about sports. Play them in a WinView contest. See if they can walk the walk as well as they talk the talk. You want to break up the monotony of family dinners and get-togethers? Challenge someone to a WinView contest. Try to win some money on a bet, on a prediction, whatever it might be. But remember, it's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who is the biggest sports fan? And how about the people at PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience through social media and blogs. PHLSportsStation.com. Let's jump into the chat check, ladies and gentlemen, and then we got a great clip for you in the Sky Motor Cars, the thing we do at the end of the show. I'm blanking because I'm laughing at your comments already. The Morning Rush, brought to you by Sky Motor Cars. But right now, let's jump into the chat check. Let's see what's going on in the world right now. April leading it off for us. Good morning, April. Kevin, good morning. Little sneak peek there. Oh, what did we do? What was I on before we had anything going, PJ? Sneak peek? Whatever. Let's see. Behind the scenes view. Ooh. Yeah. All right. Good morning, April, Kevin, everybody, Mally, Dan. Happy belated birthday once again. Hope you enjoyed the day yesterday. Good morning, everybody. Let's go Flyers. Dan Schwartz, do people still follow alternative facts? I don't know. April, love he got cheered. I'm sure the national media will spin it won't spin it that way. Here's the thing. It happened. There's video of it. So either the national media won't cover it now because, Philadelphia was nice. Oh, that's not a story. Dan Schwartz, I'm not fickle, Mark. Boo! Bad take. You're fickle. One Guapo. Good morning. Tobin. What's up, Tobin? Good morning. Jim Grassmeter. What's up, buddy? Wait, what? You mean Philly fans and their attitude has been exaggerated? This is my shocked face. And it's just that. It's just that. That's like the Mike Scott emoji. You know how sometimes you're talking to somebody and they don't know what to say, but they say something? And it's like, I'm glad you said something because that helped you. Like that didn't help my problem, whatever you just said out loud to my face. That's when the Mike Scott straight-lipped emoji, whatever. That's when the Mike Scott just kind of like that, right? From The Office. I had to buy the tickets to go over for my cousin's wedding to London, and then my wife and I are taking the train to Paris, and I'll like look around at some old stuff for a while, then come here and come back home. And I bought the tickets, and the lady on the phone, the nice lady, at least I thought she was a nice lady, told me the amount, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not terrible. All right, great. And then it turned out that was the price of just one ticket when I had specified. So that's both tickets. Yeah. So then I relayed this story to somebody else and told them what I paid. And they go, oh, well, maybe if you call the airline back, you'll get it for cheaper. And I was like, I'm glad you spoke. That advice was not helpful. Anyway, April, you have a yellow face, says Dan. Thomas, good morning to you. I'm sorry, people forget for who, for what. Not all athletes own their mistakes. April, you're exactly right. That is a great point. That was one of my first experiences that I really remember, like watching a press conference. And it was after that game, and I remember watching that game with Ricky Waters and going, what the hell is he doing? Why didn't he make that catch? Why is he, he short-armed that, you know? And I remember thinking that at like 10. And then I watched the press conference, and I remember thinking, oh, this guy ain't going to last here. For who? For what? And I got to give credit to Paul Jolovitz, ladies and gentlemen. Where am I going with this? I'll tell you. Paul Jolovitz asked Aaron Rowan, after Aaron Rowan smashed his face into the center field wall at Citizens Bank Park, tracking down a fly ball or a line drive hit to center field. He smashed his face into the wall. And after he came out and had a press conference about it, that's how great the city is. You smash your face into the wall, you get a press conference the next day. That's how great. Oh, my God, there's a press conference over it. And Paul Jolovitz asked a great question of Aaron Rowan. He said, a few years ago in this city, we had a guy named Ricky Waters who said for who, for what, when he was trying to make a catch that was a dangerous catch. Can you answer the question for who and for what? Aaron Rowan, without missing a beat, for who? My teammates. For what? To win. Aaron Rowan, forever loved. Forever loved. Is anybody else getting the allergies? People noticing my allergies? Yeah, I'm pretty banged up here when it comes to the allergies. The way the pollen is here now, I probably do. Oh, with the yellow face, April. Yeah, but right now, my allergies are killing me. Mally, April, I smoked this morning, and so I'm more like yellow face emojis right now. What's up? Mullet, Mitchie Poo, what's going on? Mullet likes Mitchie Poo's reference because Mitchie Poo had a mullet. Mike Williams, what's going on? Watch a minute of the Flyers, and I was like, Dan, you're not far off. Oh, yeah. Hey, wait, hold on, guys. 7 days till 420. Congratulations, Mally. Big day for you. Don't take away my love affair for LA's hate of the umps, says Mullet. Yeah, I know. I prefer to use not to lose to the Mets. Yeah, Paul, I don't want to lose to the Mets either. I hope the Phillies win today, obviously. Mark, bleep the Mets. Yes. Most alarming thing to me about the Phillies offense is all the strikeouts. True. Duck Rivers ain't it. You're absolutely right. No, Lester, the James Harden is not certain to return next year. Lester, PJ been quiet last few weeks. PJ's been fighting the good fight, man. Tobias Harris has basically turned into Danny Green. I'll take that from Tobias Harris. Because Tobias Harris can get it going. Danny Green very rarely can get it going. Like Tobias Harris in the last couple of weeks of the season has actually been hitting some threes. I'll take 3 and D with some, some penetration, some dribble drive penetration from Tobias Harris, but everything else not so much. Tobias Harris is the Jalen Reagor of the Sixers. That's funny. Somebody said it earlier. Yes, I think Howie Roseman is a source on people wanting Jalen Reagor. Brainiacs, let's see here. Sir, I've been to Dirty Myrtle. Not everyone looks good. April, that's good. That shirt Max has on is fire. Yeah, WNBA Jam. That was a pretty cool shirt. That's by the way, an example to all the young broadcasters out there. That's the thing. Don't do the show in the green room. He and I talked about the shirt before I hit record. I failed to bring it up after I hit record. Don't do the show in the green room, folks. I was like, oh, I got to bring up that shirt. It's awesome. Heard Farzy is anti-seatbelts and pro-weed. What? Okay. Ben Timmons, that's funny. I like that I can't. Oh, Sean Gillespie. I'm like, you can't be into holistic medicine and still get major vaccinations. It's ridiculous. That's what's kind of weird about the whole thing. Give me Dawn Staley, Max McGee's idea, 1,000%. Cody, what's up? Farzy was accused of being someone's baby daddy. I'm accused of being someone's baby daddy every day. I got 2. I got 2. My wife looks at me like, you're the baby daddy. Monalutz looks like me. My daughter, Emanuela. There's no denying that. 2.5. And I saw somebody post recently on social media something along the lines of, like, every firstborn daughter is the clone or is the female version of their father. And that couldn't be more accurate. In my case, for instance, I think I told you guys I'm building this coffee bar out of 100-year-old pine that I pulled out of our wall in our house while I was doing while we were doing some remodeling. And I pulled I was like, oh, these are still in pretty good shape. I could sand these up nice and make a coffee bar because we want a coffee bar in the kitchen. So I'm almost done. Like, it's basically formed, it's built. I just need to put like 1 or 2 more things in there to make it a little bit more stable. And I'm going to finish it with a tung oil finish, which is like a real natural finish for wood. And I'm doing that yesterday, and I hear the door open behind me, and out walks my daughter, and she's just carrying a tape measure. She went into the drawer and got a tape measure. I guess it's a sign of how good a carpenter I am that I didn't have the tape measure outside already while I was building something. And she just started taking the what do you call it? The spare cuts of wood and started stacking them on top of each other. It was like the cutest thing I ever saw in my life. And I'm like, yeah, she's me. Except she's blonde and blue eyes, and I am certainly not. Ronald, what's up, Ronald? I would say South Street people are more beautiful than Santa Monica Beach people. That is great. I would agree with that. I've been to Santa Monica Beach. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Cody, never forget Michael Barkan has road rage. Let's see. Farzy, you got to be what, 35 years old? You got to be what, 35 years older than him? I don't know. I didn't ask his age. They said Max and Mark, old dorm room. They found Mark's stash in the ceiling. They said Max had Mark's old dorm room at Temple and found Mark's stash in the ceiling. That is a story I will tell another day. Not about me, but somebody leaving their marijuana paraphernalia in a place they used to live. That's a story for another day. Mark, be healthy is just add more weed to the joint. Thank you. Ronald, I was going to say, Farzy, you're looking slim and trim. Not at all, Ronald. Literally played 1 game of basketball and was on a Peloton for 13 minutes. 3 of those minutes were trying to figure out how the damn shoes come off the pedals. Aren't you more of a hockey guy? Are you talking about me? Yeah, men's immense. I can't exercise because of the kids' excuse. Got ya. It's the only reason I had kids, to have an excuse to not work out more. I didn't go paddling. Although we have a trip booked. We're going up to the Finger Lakes in the fall, I think. And I'm going to get in the kayak. Don't you worry. We're going to do another show from the kayak people. Some argue that 420. Who was this, Dan? Yeah, Dan, I've seen this argument. Some argue that 4/20/1776 is the actual birth of our country. Washington was lit. And I think you mean Washington, the noun, as in the person, not the place. I hear 420 is a big day for you too, Mark, according to the chat room. Falconator, they're all lies. Wildwood is now as expensive as Disney. That's hilarious. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Did I get everybody? I hope I got everybody. At least something from everybody here. Darian, what's up, Darian? Thanks for joining the show. Freaking love Max. How could you not? Mike Fuji, what's up, Fuji? People, you guys love Max. That's great. That's good. Great guy. Oh, Mally's questioning my eyes. That's how the weed conversation started. Allergies, baby. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome as per usual. Let's get into the Morning Rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. So, you remember that Patrick Beverley guy? He played for the Clippers. Now he doesn't play for the Clippers anymore. Pay me or trade me was basically the ultimatum that was given. They ended up trading him to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves just happened to make the play-in tournament. Who else made the play-in tournament? The LA Clippers. The LA Clippers then had to travel to Minnesota yesterday to play the Minnesota Timberwolves, home of now former Clipper Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley and the Timberwolves pulled out a phenomenal play-in tournament victory over the Clippers last night, despite Karl Anthony Towns fouling out of the game. And Patrick Beverley, after the game, was exactly as most people would want to act, was acting exactly how most people would want to act after the team that ended up getting rid of him lost to him. Patrick Beverley post-game yesterday.
Man, I wanted this so bad. I wanted this one so bad. This is just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. To play in, to be able to beat them. Another goal scratched off. I told you he was going to the playoffs. Everybody, mostly all y'all looked at me like I was crazy when I first said that.
What did you say to your old teammates at the end there when you were standing in front of the bench?
Take their ass home. Long flight to L.A., take y'all ass home. You know, it's deeper that for me. You understand? I gave my blood and sweat and tears to that organization. You guys know the story, especially you. Blood, sweat, and tears to just be written off like that. You know, he's injury prone, he's old, this, that. To be able to come here, play them in a play-in, beat their ass, no other feeling, man.
Good for him. Feels good when you can tell people that have wronged you to go to heck. Isn't that nice? So Sixers, like I said, Saturday, we all know they take on the Raptors. Nets are set to take on the Celtics in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Phillies back at it today, 1 o'clock. Aaron Nola takes on Max Scherzer last night. And hey, Bobby Brink made his NHL debut despite the fact that the Flyers were so god-awful last night. Lost 9-2. And here they had won 2 of 3, the Flyers. But they've lost back-to-back games. They lost to the Capitals last night in Washington, 9-2. Bobby Brink did make his NHL debut. Flyers right back at it tonight against the Rangers. Josh Hart. Carter Hart left the game with a lower body injury, as did Cam Atkinson. Bobby Brink last night picked up his first NHL point in his first NHL game, getting an assist on one of 2 JVR goals. But the Flyers lost 9-2 to the Capitals. So yes, if you're scoring at home, the Flyers scored twice. The Phillies scored 0. In case you're wondering, Claude Giroux has been on fire with the Florida Panthers. 12 points in 10 games. 2 goals, 10 assists. Panthers are 10-1, I believe, since Giroux went there. We're all having fun. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be back with you guys tomorrow. Hopefully talking about the Phillies taking 2 of 3 from the Mets, and hopefully talking about the Phillies lineup just tattooing that Max Scherzer character. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Oh, tomorrow on the show, we're going to be joined by Phillies prospect McKinley Moore, relief pitching prospect in the minors right now for the Phils. Stands at 6'3", 23 years old. He's a right-handed pitcher out of Houston, Texas. He'll be joining us tomorrow, so I look forward to that conversation as well. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take it easy. This is the Farzy Show from the Steven Singer Studio, presented by DestinationRetirement.com. Jim Hyden produced the program. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take it easy.